Hey guys, in this video I'm going to explain the third logic game from LSAT PrepTest 70, which is the October 2013 LSAT. This is the game where we have 5 movies shown at a theater. We have horror, mystery, romance, sci-fi, and western. I've laid them out here on top. I've also laid out a main diagram and some rules, all of which I'm going to explain. We start off with the fact that we have these screens numbered 1, 2, and 3, and we have the movies being shown beginning at either 7 p.m., 8 p.m., or 9 p.m. So I've laid the 7, 8, 9 out horizontally because we typically lay out chronological or ordering things horizontally. So this game has an ordering component of placing the movies in order, 7, 8, 9. We also have a matching component where we're matching the movies, HMR, SW, to the screens as well as putting them at a time. So this game has a matching component as well as an ordering component. I've also laid out the rules, all of which I'm going to explain. We have Western before horror, so W is before H, meaning H cannot be 1, W cannot be 3. We have S is not on 3, it's not in the third row. We have R is not in the second row. We have H and M on different screens, so I've laid that out on the side here, meaning they can never be horizontally in the same row. I've also placed the X's here as placeholder variables, just to remind us that we can never have any movie starting at 8 p.m. on screens 1 or 2. We can never have any movie starting at 7 or 9 on screen 3. So this is a pretty simple initial setup, but it's all the rules really give us. We'll be doing more work over the course of the game as we get into specific questions. So let's start off right away with question number 13, which is a typical orientation question. We're just going to take one rule at a time and apply that rule to all 5 choices, checking for violations. So I'll start with the simple rules that R cannot be 2, S cannot be 3. So starting with the first of those, R cannot be 2, checking for violations there. Choice E violates it, having R on 2. S on 3 cannot happen because in choice D we have S on 3, so D can be eliminated. We have that W must go before H, checking for violations of that. The fact that H cannot be on 1, meaning, H cannot be on 7 p.m. We see that choice B violates that, so B is gone. A and C are good on that though. But we can eliminate C due to the final rule that H and M are on different screens. So C is gone, leaving A as our answer for number 13. Next, number 14, they're asking us for what cannot be an accurate list of movies shown on screen 2. Well, we saw from 13A we could have W and S on screen 2, but unfortunately that's not a choice here. I would scan for H on 7 and W on 9, because we know that those things cannot happen either, but none of the choices mention that except for choice C, which has W on 9, so we know that cannot happen, so C is our answer for number 14, not too bad there. Next, number 15, if W and S were on the same screen, what could be true? So first of all, there are 2 different ways this could play out. We could either have WS on 1 or WS on 2. However, WS on 1 doesn't work out, and here's why. If we put WS on 1, the fact that R cannot be on 2 forces it on to 3, leaving M and H to go on 2 together, but that's not allowed. So therefore, we're not going to have WS on 1, we're going to have WS on 2. Now, if we have WS on screen 2, things are a little bit more open-ended. We have the variables M, R, and H remaining, and we know that M and H cannot both go on 1, so we're going to have one of M or H on screen 3. We also know that we cannot have H on 7 p.m., so screen 1 at 7 p.m. is going to have to be either R or M as a result. So other than that, things are pretty vague. Screen 1's 9 p.m. showing will be any of M, R, or H. We'll just run through the choices here regarding what could be true now. So H on screen 2, could that happen? No, we have WS there, so A is gone. Could we have M on 9? Yes, we could have M on screen 1 at 9 p.m., then have R on screen 1 at 7 p.m., then have H on screen 3 at 8 p.m. works out perfectly fine, so B is our answer for 15. I will run through the others though. R on screen 3, no, doesn't happen. We got to have one of M or H there. Again, remember to avoid having M and H together on screen 1, so C is gone. Looking at D, S on 7 p.m. No, S is on 9 p.m. on screen 2, so D is gone. Then looking at E, W on 8. No, we have to have M or H on 8. We're going to have W on screen 2 at 7 p.m. So E is gone, leaving B. Next, number 16. If R were before W, then what has to be true? Well, we already know that W has to go before H, so now we're going to have R before W before H as well. So a sequence of 3 things now, which means that we're going to have W on screen 3 at 8 p.m., then have R on screen 1 at 7, and then have H on either screen 1 at 9 or screen 2 at 9. We can never have R on screen 2 at 7 because R is never on 7, period. So we either have R on 1, H on 1, or R on 1, H on 2. 2 different major possibilities. I'm going to draw out both of those now. So here are those 2 different diagrams. We have only M and S remaining to place, and we know that things are pretty open-ended. Other than that, we have to avoid having M and H on the same row at the same screen. So in this diagram on the right, M is going to have to go on screen 1 to avoid having it in the same screen with H, leaving S to go on screen 2 at 7. In the other diagram, though, things are more open-ended. M and S are pretty much interchangeable. They could be, you could have M on 1, M on 7, and S on 9, or S on 7 and M on 9. Works out perfectly fine either way. So these are our 2 different possibilities, and we can just run through the choices now. So most we have H on screen 1. Well, in the diagram on the left we do, but in the diagram on the right we have H on screen 2, so A is not a must. Looking at B, M on 7. No, M and S are interchangeable on 7 and 9 in the diagram on the right, so for the, on the left, so for that reason B is gone. Looking at C, M on 2. No, we could have M on 1 in the diagram on the right, so C is gone. Looking at D, S on 9. S could be on 7 in the diagram on the left. It has to be in 7 in the diagram on the right, and so it could be on the left. Either way, it's not a must, so D is gone. Finally, E, S on 2. We have S on screen 2 in both of these diagrams no matter what, so yes, E is a must for number 16. Next, number 17. Here they're asking us for what cannot be a list of movies that are on screen 1 together. So I'd start by looking at previous work. We saw from question number 16 that we had RH or RM together on screen 1, but those are not choices. From 13A, we saw R and H together, again, not a choice, of course. So no easy eliminations based on previous work. We can also look for, H on 7 and W on 9, or H and M together, because we know those things cannot happen, but none of those things happen either. So no easy eliminations here. This question has the potential to become very time-consuming if you were to just work through all the choices here. So you've got to look for a faster way, some kind of shortcut here, something unique. And it stems from the rule that H and M cannot be on the same screen. They have to be split apart. So if you scan through the choices here for 17, we see that all of them mention one of H or M except choice E. Choice E mentions neither H nor M. So that's suspicious. I would see what happens when you have W on 1 and S on W on 7 and S on 9. So if we put that down, W on 1 and W on 7, S on 9, then we've got M, R, and H remaining. R cannot be on 2, so it has to go on 3. That leaves M and H to be together on 2, which is unacceptable. So for that reason, E is impossible, and it's our answer for 17. Finally, number 18, if S and R were on the same screen, what has to be true? So let's play with that for a minute. Let's just, looking at previous work, we don't see S and R ever together on the same screen, so we're not going to be able to use previous work here. we're drawing something new, so I'm drawing out them together on screen 1, since of course we're never going to have R on screen 2 at any point due to the initial rule. So there's R and S interchangeable on screen 1. We then know that we have to have W before H. By the way, that R before W is from the previous question. So W before H has to occur. We know that we cannot have W on 8 p.m. because if W were on 8, we'd have to have H on 9, leaving M to be on 7, and M and H would be in the same screen, the same row. So W on 8 is not going to work. We're going to have to put W on 7 in screen 2, and once we've done that, M and H become completely interchangeable. So there's no must regarding M or H, letting you eliminate choices C and E because none of those mention M or H being on 7. But we actually already have our answer because they're asking us about a must here. The only thing fixed is W on screen 2 at 7, and that's what choice A says, W on 7. So choice A is our answer, and that's the game.